They say Calabar, a lush region of Nigeria, holds secrets in its soil, mysteries that twist through its silent, cruel forest. Among these woods is a place so cursed that even the bravest whisper its name, Ogugu Forest. Centuries ago, on the edge of this forest lived a woman named Aminata. She was a healer, a wise herbalist, kind, beautiful, and respected. People traveled from far away seeking her remedies. Mothers called her their daughter, the sick called her an angel, but the village chief, Akpan, feared her. He saw her popularity, her wisdom, her power, and he trembled. One day, he stood before the people and cried, "This woman is a witch. Our crops are dying, our children are falling ill. This is a curse upon us." Those same people who once bowed before her, now dragged her into the village square. No questions. No mercy, they stacked wood, tied her down, and set her on fire. Her scream rose from the flames, echoing through the forest, clawing at the skies. In her final breath, her soul swore an oath, "I will return, for vengeance." 20 years later, 3 university boys, Abong, Item, and Basi, laughed at the old stories of Calabar. To them, tales of Aminata were just that, stories. So, on the night of a full moon, they dared to do the unthinkable, spend a night in Ogugu Forest, filming a prank video to mock the legend of the Witch of Calabar. At midnight, they entered the woods. The trees loomed like snakes in the dark. The wind stood still. Even the leaves dared not rustle. Suddenly, a laugh echoed. A woman's laugh. Soft, cold, terrifying, and then she appeared. Floating just above the ground, draped in a tattered white gown, her long black hair wild, and her eyes, 2 burning embers of blood-red fire. Item stepped forward. He collapsed instantly, gasping, his eyes turning pale white, and then, stillness. Basi ran. The roots of the tree slithered up and held him. The witch placed her hand on his chest. He too went silent. Only Abong survived. Stumbling, crying, running blindly through the trees, he made it out alive. When villagers found him at dawn, he could only repeat one sentence, she was beautiful, but she was dead. 3 years passed. A young researcher named Zainab came to Calabar. She had studied the true story of Aminata, her kindness, her unjust death, and her trapped spirit. Zainab believed that if Aminata's ashes were buried with honor, her soul might finally rest. She journeyed into Ogugu Forest, gathered the ashes in a sacred vessel, and buried them in a small, quiet grave. That night, no screams, no laughter. For the first time in ages, silence meant peace, not fear. But some stories never sleep forever. 3 years later, a foreign researcher named Emily Harper arrived. She was fascinated by African witch legends and refused to heed local warnings. Zainab tried to stop her, but she insisted. Emily entered Ogugu Forest. She found the grave. She dug it up. The vessel was empty. That night, Emily vanished. The next morning, she returned. But she wasn't Emily anymore. Her voice was colder. Her eyes glowed faintly red. Her walk was no longer human. Zainab saw it immediately. Aminata was back. Not as smoke or shadow, but in human form. She had learned to possess living bodies. Now, the witch didn't hunt from afar. She wore new faces, spoke through new mouths, lived inside her victims. Strange things returned to Calabar. At night, children spoke of a lady in white watching them from the trees. Women dreamed of a dark figure whispering in their ears, then fainted in fear. A boy attacked his own mother and later cried, "It wasn't me, something else was inside me." Zainab understood, burial was not enough. Aminata wanted a sacrifice, and so, Zainab made her choice. She returned to the grave with prayers, charms, and courage. She called out to Aminata, and the witch came, no longer a woman, but a roaring storm of faces, screams, and fire. Zainab climbed into the grave, and sealed herself in her life for peace, and once again, the forest fell silent. They say peace has returned to Calabar. Ogugu Forest no longer weeps or howls, but on some nights, when the moon is full, A woman in white is seen walking near the village, hair wild, lips curled in a faint smile. The elders whisper, she doesn't just watch. She searches for a new body. If you ever find yourself in Calabar and a woman stares at you from afar, don't turn around because it might be Aminata. And she may want to wear your skin next.